Peace, world. How you doing? It's your brother Mikey Fever. You know what I'm saying? Peace to the world. Hope everyone had a great day. Peace to the gods, peace to the earth, peace to the Hebrews. Salam alaikum to my Islamic people. Aibobo to my Haitian voodoo practitioners. You know what I'm saying? Salam alaikum, walaikum salam to the Palo people. See, I'm butchering that. Forgive me. Peace to the Palo community. Peace to the Santeria, the Ifa people, Bendition and all that. You know, it's been a long.
Everybody right there.
Yeah, of course, man. Gotta show love to the ATRs, man.
Okay.
Gotta show love.
Okay.
You know, we setting the tone right. We got big brother Baba Victor in the building.
That's me. Thank you for having me.
That's all love, my brother. You know, we had to set the tone right, get the vibes going.
I hear it.
This music, man, is very relaxing. Tell the story.
That's it.
You know?
That's what music does, man.
Definitely. So we're gonna tone that out right now. And we're gonna get into this. Oh man. So Baba Victor, brother. It's a pleasure to have you on here. Welcome to the NYP platform. You know, we introduce you to the people. We'd like to know a little more about you, Baba Victor. So where do you hail from? Where you coming from, brother?
All right, man. I'm born and raised in Chicago. Midwest. Yeah, Chi-Town. My whole life been in Chicago, but you know, I've been as far as the community of Orisha. I've been exposed to some of I always call it the Mecca, the three Meccas of Lukumi, which is Miami, New York, and Chicago. Some of the major cities. You know, you can include Atlanta in there, but you know that growing up, everybody was associated with New York and Florida, and in the community, we always mingled. You know, we always interchanged. We always traveled. We always had that connection. It was as far as the community, because growing up in the community, man, it was small in Chicago, so you had to branch out to some of the elders that you needed, and sometimes we had to like resource them out and have people come in. But I've been in this for 45 years in the tradition of Orisha and Lukumi. So
45 years.
45 years. 45 years I've been initiated Shango. Yeah. I've been initiated Shango for almost 30 years, been about 28 years. And Babalawo priest for 23 years.
Damn, so MVP, huh?
Well, I don't know about MVP, but I consider myself an elder. And the other good thing is, being in it for so long, I've seen the transitions. I've seen the changes, man. I've seen all the evolutions. Yeah. I think, and that's why I always say, man, I'm a good reference to speak on it, because I've been in it for so long, and not just been initiated and just been about my life. Like I've been in the streets, you know what I'm saying? I've been in the trenches with this religion when it was like you had to hide everything, and you know, you had to worry about police busting in.
Oh, word. So before we go into that, I'd like to know more, like, how did you get introduced into this? Like, give us a little bit about your background, your childhood years. Like, were you raised religious, like, you know, organized religion as far as Christian?
Catholicism, definitely raised really strong Lutheran Christian, but I'm second generation priest in this tradition of Orisha. My father got initiated, so when I was about 8 years old. Oh, wow. He had got introduced to my godmother, which is his godmother. Wow. Helped him out with some things, performed some small miracles for it. Someone had introduced him when he was going through some trouble. You know how it goes, you know, and like, hey, I know this lady, she helped me out. It just got to him, and he got out of some legal stuff. I mean, it was like a miraculous thing, and it just he was flabbergasted by the power of it. And the you know, this is what, you know, in the 1980, you know what I'm saying? So it's like you really didn't hear about it. So he got into it, got initiated. He got me and my sister our necklaces, and we took it from there. And from him, when I was about 15, you know, he allowed us to take it as far as we wanted to. So that's when I started making decisions on my own. I got my warriors. You know, I got my Elekes. That's the one thing he got me in my necklaces when I was about 8. So about 15, I got my warriors. And about 20, I was initiated. You know, and I just moved on. You know, continuing to follow. This was my path. You know.
So I have the question is nationality background.
Yeah, I'm Mexican, but my nationality is American. But my ethnic background is Mexican. You know, my family's 400 Mexican. I'm not Cuban, not Puerto Rican. I'm Mexican. Chicano. You know what I'm saying? I don't even. Here's the thing about me. Here's why I'm a good reference too, because I don't even speak fluent Spanish.
Word?
You know what I mean? Yeah, both my parents were bilingual, but you know, when they speak both languages, they raised us English. I had to learn Spanish on my own. You know what I mean? It's like
I go through the same thing too with the Creole background in English. So you know, they speak Creole, I respond in English, but I understand it. It's like I'm a dog. I don't speak. I understand. I'm like, oh yeah. I shoot back the English at you. They look at me like, what's going on?
Yeah, man, that was rough, man. In this community, man, I gotta tell you something, man. Growing up in Santeria is what it was called back then. It was primarily Spanish. You know what I mean? And it was always spoken in Spanish. You know, readings for you was done in Spanish. You don't even know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? I had to be like, yo, what's he asking? What's happening? You know what I mean? It was tough, man. It was tough.
That's dope, man. But yo, look at it. Look at your time, your tenure in there. Like you,
no excuses.
Been there 45 years. Like it's
no excuses, man.
You pushed yourself. You know, so we're gonna get into some questions. Like as far as we're gonna go to the origins and history. And again, you know, it may sound like we're spoon feeding our listeners and our viewers. We only, you know, asking questions for the sake of, you know, educational purposes to make it understandable for them in case him or her may one day, you know, have a inquiry or a desire to get initiated. So we're going to ask some basic questions, you know.
I'm down with that, man. My whole platform too, I've changed it to just for beginners, man. I'm over the drama and all everybody who knows more and everything. I'm like, you know what? Let me step out of that. I ain't trying to be a part of that. I'm just gonna help out those who want to learn. I call it the newbies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a lot of it is ego. You know, sometimes when people get caught up in these practices, it boosts it. They develop a complex where they feel like they are the authoritative figure of such and such practices, and it's weird, man. What can we say?
Sure. I got a lot on that I can speak on, but go ahead. I'm down with whatever you want to ask me.
All right. So the first question.
You asked me to be here, so be careful what you ask for, my man.
Listen, bro. Listen, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know why you chose me, but I'm gonna come with it.
Nah, it's all love. It's all love, man.
Yeah.
How did Santeria emerge from the fusion of Yoruba traditions and Catholicism in the Caribbean?
Yeah, so you know we call it the diaspora. So when the Yoruban practices, very basic knowledge, most people know. After the slave trade, they started intermingling. They started. Cuba was a major one. Brazil, Trinidad, right? And they weren't allowed. So as you know, they had to hide the religion. So the religion one was born out of secrecy. That's one. They had to hide the religion. And one of the greatest things that the tradition that we have in the diaspora, we come from an energy where they fought for something, you know, they believed in something and risked death, man, to them and to the family. Let's think about that. They kept it alive, knowing that they could die or their kids can die. For all of us to be aware of it who practice this in the diaspora, right? And I respect it. I'm like, yo, that's my elders. I'm down with my Lukumi diaspora elders. So they had to hide the religion behind Catholicism. That was the oppressed. That was the tradition that they had to be. And Catholicism has a lot of saints. Okay, so what they did was, you know, they synchronized an Orisha with a saint, and they had their saints up there, and they were worshiping the saints a lot. So that's how you get the term Santeria, which just means the way of the saints. All right,
see,
that's all it is. That's all it is.
Basic, it's just
basic, man. They're like, so they saw them because like Catholic was in the church, but they didn't really have that many like saints up in the practitioner, you know what I mean? It was just Jesus Christ, you know what I mean? Maybe the church has some, but they was like all about their statues in the room, like, yo, they're practicing their Santeria, man. They really about the saint religion. But it was the Orishas that they was there hiding the religion in secrecy. And that's how it got fused. But what happened is over time, when the freedoms came and they didn't have to, they can practice what they wanted. By then, you get 2 or 3 generations later, they were just growing up into the Catholic tradition, and they were practicing both. And then Santeria became a term that was basically with a little bit of the Catholic background infused with the Orisha tradition.
Got you. I like that. I like that. So as far as the theology and beliefs, right?
Right.
What is the nature of Olodumare, the supreme being in Santeria?
All right. So the one, I've done some teachings on this as far as what would you consider our religion, our faith? Is it a monotheistic tradition? Is it henotheistic tradition, polytheism? You know what I mean? But we do have a supreme being. So to answer your question, Olodumare, Olorun, and Olofi are just different names, different titles for the one supreme source, which is the creator, which is in English terms, God. So Olodumare is the creator of the universe, the creator of the stars. There's many different translations for that word. Yoruba words and a lot of the Lukumi and Santeria have a lot of root words that are in Yoruba, but they sometimes take on different meanings. You know what I mean? Sort of like a Latin root word, but the word can have something else. But a lot of the root words of Yoruba are compound words. So Olodumare, it can say, the creator, but it's like a bunch of things in there. The owner of the womb that created the stars, you know what I mean? And then Olorun, that is Olo, meaning owner in the Yoruba tradition. Orun means heaven. So when you say I'm praising to Olorun, I'm praising to the owner of heaven. So a lot of times they're referencing to that, to the sun. Okay, Olofin is another term for just straight God, and like sometimes the embodiment of God that we have on earth. So to answer your question, that's the supreme being. What does that mean? That is our creator. That is our one source. We still have that higher source. Orishas are very equivalent to like angels. They ain't above God. They ain't equal to God. We have that supreme being.
Now you stole that right out. I was about to ask you that question. So what are the Orishas? Can you break down the different, if you can recall off the top of your head, how many Orishas are there?
So I can tell you, they would say there's like 200, there's like 400 Orishas, and a lot of them are not as widely known.
I heard
a lot
401.
Yeah, right. That one with actually like intermingling. I'm on both sides. You know what I'm saying? So, but you got a bunch of different Orishas. Not all of them made it over into the diaspora with the knowledge of them. But there's a main that we all work with in Isheshe, which is traditional, and then Lukumi, which is in the diaspora. There's a lot of Orishas that we work with, and that would be Obatala, first Elegua or Eshu, and then Obatala, Yemiya, Oshun, Shango. We talked about Ya Aganyu, Ochosi, Ogun, Olokun, Orisha Oko, the Ibejis, Edu, which was the third twin or the triplet that came out of the twins, Yewa, Oba, Obanani, the list goes on. Inle. So there's a lot of different Orishas that cover the elements of the world. And that's basically explaining that this is what we do. We are one with the universe. We are one with nature. We are one with the earth. We are one with the air and the wind, the stars. We are one. We are one source. The law of the oneness flows within us all in the tradition of Ifa, and intermingling with those energies and elements is intermingling with those Orishas and understanding those powers and those dynamics.
Got you. Wow. All right. You sound like an encyclopedia, man, the way you breaking that down. So, before I go, I'm gonna ask questions. I'm gonna put this down first. When you speak of Obatala, Shango, Oshun, Yemaya, right? You already have noted that each of them deal with the elements, right, of the world, the universe, right? So, if somebody can you describe the characteristics of Obatala? Like if they say this person has Obatala on them, how would?
Yeah, I can describe the Orisha, and then what I've been doing lately is doing the true essence of a child of an Orisha, because an Orisha is very different than a child of an Orisha. That is the biggest misconceptions, and this is what I've been preaching on and teaching, because people think, oh, Shango is this way, so that means I'm this way, and that's not how it
go
works.
Ahead, let it go.
That's not how it works, man. I made one video, man. Changotis, like they are Chango, and they're like, yeah, that's not how it works. The true, I made a series on, I've done like 4 of them already. The true essence of the child of Orisha. I broke it down what a child of an Orisha is as opposed to an Orisha. So to answer your question, Obatala, his essence and his energy and his Ashe energy and flows and power deals with the body, the temple, and he's the owner of the head, which represents everything within the head, intelligence and wisdom. He's the creator. One of his paths, there are many different paths of different Orishas. That's something to consider as well. One of his paths that he created, you know, the destiny, and he helped mold in one of the paths of Obatala Ajala, when he actually created the destiny that we chose before him, then we chose it and he created it. So he works with that. His colors also represent a lot of who we are. His color is just straight white. And his name means the king of the white cloth. Oba Ta Allah. So it's a lot about the names actually mean something, you know, like Yemoja is literally like Yeye Eja, which is the mother of fishes. So a lot of times the names just tell who they are, you know. But Obatala is the owner of the white cloth. The purity represents the cleanness, represents the character. Something, you know, that cloth can represent character. They'll say, don't let Epo red palm oil stain your white cloth. You got to be careful of bad character staining that. The people around you, keeping that cloth clean of impurities. You got to treat your body like a temple. You know what I mean? Clean and pure. All that can come with that. So Obatala, that's his energy. He's a male Orisha. He's considered the father of the Orishas. He's very wise and very smart, very intelligent. Used to be a warrior. There's many paths with him. That's like Obatala Ayaguna, where he was a young warrior. There's a path in a particular Odu where he decided, I'm not going to fight no more. And he gave all his tools over to Ogun, and he dressed all in white to become a pacifist and to become who he is, you know, in this. So there's evolutions that the Orishas go through too.
All right, good. Because I have heard that before, you know, even down within the voodoo culture, I hear people, they personify certain laws. And, you know, now that you're saying it, even in Santeria Ifa, people be like, well, you know, I'm a child of this, so I do personify that characteristic of that particular, you know, Orisha. And, you know, they start behaving as such. And I'm like, you know,
listen,
that's some kind of psychosis to me.
It is psychosis. And it's also like, you know, a misrepresentation. You're not quite understanding why you are a child of a certain Orisha. So if you're a child of Obatala, it doesn't mean, it just means you need him. You need the things that he can bring you health. If you're a child of Ogun, it doesn't mean that you want to fight all the time. He needs to protect you possibly from surgeries. He needs to protect you from violence that can come on you. You know, you might be a child of Shango. It doesn't mean you're like a warrior and a king and you like to, no, you just mean there's going to be battles in your life that you're going to fight. Maybe community battles, it may be, you know, political battles, it may be things that you're going to do that Shango is going to give you the energy and the passion to continue and the intelligence to fight these battles. You know, we're not necessarily have to be Shango. You know what I mean? I if you ever get a chance, man, I'll send you the video, man. I went off. I'm like, stop stereotyping these Orishas. Stop trying to blame your character on Orishas. You talking like you just a class A, B, and you can't shut your mouth. And you said, because I'm a child of Ochum. I said, man, keep Ochum out your mouth, man, just because you don't know how to shut up, man. I was like, don't put
got you right there. Hold on.
Bomboclat!
Nah, it's
hey, man, I see y'all too much. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, that's yo, it's crazy.
That's hilarious.
But I have a question. Like, what is an Odu?
I'm glad you asked that. So the Odus are the corpus of the word of an Orisha called Orunmila, the one who knows your destiny. Orunmila, the one who knows your salvation, the one who knows your destiny is what he is. And the corpus, his word is called Ifa. And within the 256, there's a binary code, a system of codes, an index of information of how to tap into portals and energies and vibrations and frequencies. And each Odu tells you who you are. Each Odu tells you this. So that's why I was about to say that it's not about the child of Orisha, it's your Odu. If your Odu says you got a bad character, your Odu says temper, your Odu says no patience, if your Odu says this, if your Odu says that, these susceptibilities to drink and to this, that's within your Odu that's telling you the vibrations of your DNA that's matrix within the universe. That's all. It's not about the Orisha. It's about your Odu. Great question.
That's mathematical right there. That's science for your ass, people. Yo, it's so dope how you said that. How you put that in a proper framework. So it's finding your destiny is through your Odu. And how can you determine, you said through Odu, how can you determine that a person has a particular Orisha on them? Like, are there any, like, procedures that's taken, protocols, rituals?
So I think what you're asking is like, how do we to reveal their head Orisha?
Yeah, your head Orisha. How
So
do you
the
reveal
term
the
is like,
Ori, as they call it? Yeah.
well, Ori is different than your tutelary Orisha. Your Ori comes with you before, during, and after Earth. That is your destiny. That is with you always. That accompanies you already. Now the Orisha. So the basic fundamentals, and I always speak fast because there's always a lot of information, and I know it's going to be recorded. So I just kind of just go in.
Nah, you're good. You're good. They can play it back.
Let's do this. So listen, the concept is, the basic concept is, you chose your Ori, you chose your destiny. Your Ori was witness to that. And then within that, you chose an Orisha. So you chose a destiny, you chose experiences, you chose trials and tribulations. Okay, and that was chosen before you came to earth. The one who was witness was Orumila. They call him Alerin Ping, which is witness to your choice of destiny, and a God and your Ori. Then it was chosen. This is my trials and tribulations. This is the Orisha that's going to help me overcome this in life. That's why it's very important to have that marked or revealed properly. Okay, and with that is the one who was witness was Orumila. So when you come from, you're going to get into these politics, and you're going to get into people who don't work with Babalawus and all that other stuff, and they determine, basically there's a special reading that's determined who is the Orisha to reveal that. Who is the one that wants to be seated? Who's the one that is ready to guard your Ori? Who is the select head with that? Special readings for that. And I'm going to give you my strong opinion. It should go to Orumila because he was witness, and it's done on a sacred Ilpan Ifa, which we bring down Orumila to the ground. It's done to complete Ifa corpus. It's done in person. We mark the Odus and inscribe on top of the Ilpan Ifa, sacred Ifa tray. We present everything to your head. We ask Orumila in person, and we find out and ascertain and reveal who is your Orisha, head Orisha. Okay. I always say reveal is very important about the word I'm choosing. We didn't mark it then. It wasn't marked then. That was decided and marked before you came to earth. We are revealing this information.
I like that. Very scientific, methodical on it. Yo, I noticed that when you speak, when you define these terms, you use a lot of etymology and linguistic, like you showing the root of the word, what it means. I like how you breaking that down, man. That's
listen,
dope.
I don't like to say a lot. I may not know a lot of prayers and a lot of songs because I like to know what I'm saying. You know what I mean? And I like to do my history. And I like to have a little meaning. Sometimes there's this chance, like, hey, just say this. It means something. You know what I mean? And you memorize it. But I like knowing information about it. I like to know a little bit, understanding and educate myself.
That's dope. That's dope, man. So, say like, let's go about this, right? If somebody comes to you, like they come to you and be like, I'm having a particular problem whatsoever. I feel like I have a negative energy that's placed upon me. How would you go about finding a solution? You don't have to, reveal too much.
Divination, my man. Divination. So I always explain this. It is no different. So let's say someone comes into my, okay. If you go to a doctor and you say, hey, I got a headache, I need you to fix it. The doctor don't know nothing. He's got to do blood work. He's got to take some x-rays. He's got to do medical background. He's got to do some questions. He's got to check you out after a thorough background. It can come from, doing your blood work, you're deficient in your blood, you're low in your iron. This is what's causing headaches. Or it can be like, you got some other deficiency going on. And or it can be like, I checked you out. You got nothing but stress right now. That's the thing that's causing you headaches. You know what I mean? Or it can be like, we got to do further testings. There may be some growths in your head. I'm picking up some things on some scans and some of your blood work. It can, all those will be from like brain surgery to like, take some Advil. So you don't know without doing proper look. So someone comes up to me and says, I think I got a spirit on me, or my roads are blocked. Can you prescribe a remedy? Every remedy has a solution. So let's say your roads are blocked. I don't know if your roads are blocked because you're making bad choices, and I need to get your head right and redirect you, course correct some of the path you're walking. I don't know if it's a spirit that's latched on you. I don't know if it's witchcraft that's latched on you. I don't know if it's like, all those will require a different remedy or a different ebo, which is a remedy. So divination helps me understand exactly what the problem is and what the cause is. Sometimes divination will reveal you don't have a problem no more. It's fine. I got a bad spirit on me. Arula says you're fine. You know what I mean? And it's like there's some other issues going on, picking up on mental problems. You know what I mean? Let's investigate this a little bit. You know what I mean? On the flip side, someone thinks they got mental problems, and I took someone off of they was on bipolar medicine, they was on all these other type of medicine, with a P, I forgot what it was. All these different medicines for depression, Prozac, and some other ones. So it turns out that they had a spiritual problem. They went off the medicine and like, yo, I still feel all right without taking this medicine. Now my doctor wants to double it on me. I said, you're fine, my man. It's like, that's the diagnosis. That's what a reading does.
I like that. And if you could break down, just for the sake of listeners and viewers, what is it, Egbo? You know, some people spoke about it on this platform before, but I want to hear your perspective. What is it?
Yeah, I watched the lady, the Santeria, that was on there. I was able, you told me to check out I saw what she did a little bit. I wasn't able to watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, and everything.
Shout out to Ayaba Swin.
I was like, it's been a real busy week. I had some ceremony, so I had to just kind of, browse through to kind of get a vibe for what you are, you know what I mean, and everything. Yeah. She did a great job. She seems really authentic, man. Blessings to her, man. Oh, Yah bless her. So proud of where she's calm. She just did a wonderful job. But as far as Ebo, 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 all it is, no, it's all good. Ebo, all it is it means a lot of different meanings. And Ebo is basically your solution, your remedy. And that can consist of many things. That can consist of fruits and offerings, what we call adimu. Sometimes they can involve a sacrifice. Sometimes they can involve course correcting, obedience. That's a form of an ebo. You know what I mean? So a lot of the ebo, what was recommended, what was your remedy, is the remedies marked. Different types of remedies, different types for whatever solution.
That's dope. Because I heard people, in the past spoken about that, like, they gotta run into the woods sometimes. I'm like, what? Like stuff like that. I'm like,
man, here's the deal. There's a lot of people that when they're not really knowledged and studied, they will mark unnecessary things. A real priest, I shouldn't say a real priest, but a priest that's working with the persons and your intent is to help the person. It should be like, let me start small and work my way up. Sometimes things can be solved with just, we have a tail of a rumina, what you call iroke of a rumina. I could just pass this over you, and that's all the rumina says, man. You don't need this. You don't need any of that. And then sometimes there's some extravagant things, but there's a time and a place for all that. And I ain't gonna say nothing about that, but like I side-eye certain things if it's consistently you're paying big money doing these extravagant things, and it's like, let's look to help the person, man. Let's not do unnecessary remedies.
You know what it is too? And this is something across the board in all these diaspora practices. And again, if you're offended, maybe you have done it, people. You got a lot of prophets out there that's just for the profit. False prophets for the profit. What's the word of charlatans out there that have elaborate altars and all kinds of things, and when you go there, they can't even kill a roach.
Here's the deal: like over the last, I could say this, over the last 10 years, maybe 5 or 10 years, the interest in this tradition has skyrocketed, and with social media, it just really created the velocity of interest. Interest comes predators. Interest comes a lot of people looking at as a cash cow and losing the principles of why we are on the other side of this table of helping somebody is for the person. It's not to make money first. The money and compensation will come in its right place, but if you're looking for that first and you're doing things of that nature, it's gonna catch up to you and people will not follow you. Man, I've been in places, man. I've been in some dark places, man, in my life financially. Yo, man, I'll tell you, I've been there. Like, I'm looking for food to eat because I was trying to practice this religion, going full time in my botanica in 2008 when the real estate market crashed, and I got people needing my help, and I'm like trying to make rent, and I got family and a baby. I'm doing readings with my baby in my carrier, and I'm trying to make rent and feed my family. And and a person comes and says, listen, I'll pay whatever. I just want to get this girl back. I want to do this love spell, and I'll pay $1,000, and I'll be like, listen, I can't help you. You know what I mean? Or someone feels, I feel like God has spirit in me. I think I need an exorcism. I think, I'll pay anything. I'll be like, man, I can clean you with just my tail. You know what I'm saying? But I know that was Arula testing me. I know those Orishas testing me. And over time, I built up a reputation in that group. You know what I mean? You try to make a quick buck, you're going to have a quick fall.
Yeah, of course. And that right there that you possess is called integrity. You have integrity. Some people
Integrity.
don't have that integrity. They just, like you say, they try and get that quick buck. They want a high style and profile and be like, pay for a subscription. I'm like, listen, to each your own. It's a business. Yo, as you said, go, go in there and collect your coins. But when that fall comes, you're gonna fall hard.
Yeah, I believe if anybody's paying for something, I don't, I'm not knocking anybody when it comes to money, what they charge. You know what I mean? Tithes and all that other stuff. You know what I mean? I always say, like, listen, if you're gonna make someone pay for something, make sure they're getting something for it, not just give you money for nothing. You know what I mean? I've done some stuff, videos on that, but I hear you. It's what we call Iwapele. We call character. Iwa is character. There's many different types of Iwas. Iwapele, humble. Iwarere, good. Iwa Agba, responsible. Iwa Sotito, honesty. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different Iwas that we need to be interacting as we're human beings first.
Got you. So I have this question for you, right? How do sacred places, altars, and shrines reflect the cosmology of Santeria?
Say that one more time.
How do sacred spaces, altars, and shrines reflect the cosmology of Santeria?
We have altars, we have our sacred spaces. Altars have generated from the beginning of the genesis of Santeria. Santeria is just a name for the religion in that time. It reflects the time of that religion. And the Santeria had a lot of statues and a lot of Catholic statues. Now, we have sacred spaces that we still put in our homes and shrines. And there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? We have adapted to our diasporic conditions in our environments, right? Back in the day in Nisheshe, in Nigeria, there were certain cults of certain Orishas, and they had the community town shrine. And they had the head priest or the parent or the head of the family, and that was the shrine, and that was it. We don't have that. We have to kind of create our own spaces within our own privacy of our home. And this is the genesis for the need. A lot of the religion that we have of Santeria or Lukumi was birthed out of the necessity to adapt to our environment. So yes, we had to bring in certain altars in our house. We had to create certain things in certain spaces. And that reflects the cosmology of how we are interacting with these Orishas within our home.
So that's dope right there. So when the cosmology of the altars, like I have seen altars, what they call bovedas with like 3 glasses.
So the boveda is a spiritual altar that represents the spiritual vault of the guides or spirits or ancestors. And then there's Orisha altars that are separate. But the boveda is something that is a very that would be more of the Santeria part that evolved. Of the boveda of the glasses and the certain prayers. But I always recommend a boveda because that is your conduit. The water is the conduit and the source of the vibrations for energies and spirits to be called in, and you create like a vault, and that can be your dedicated sacred space.
All right, so can you describe a Santeria altar? Because I have seen like walking past botanicas, they have these elaborate like pots, or I don't want to say urns, but it's like these elaborate like fine china pots. I have seen like these things looking like.
So over time in Santeria, they adapted what they call soperas, which is basically a soup tureen, and they have them adorned with the colors and the implements that it represent those Orishas. And those Orishas, anything that is started out in its form, you can buy it from Chinatown or you can get it whatever. But once it's consecrated, once it's appropriately washed, prepared, birthed of an Orisha, housed the Orishas, it becomes a vault. It becomes very sacred energy that you're holding, a portal of Ashe within your own home. And in Olorisha, which is the term for Santero or Santere, Olo Orisha means Olo, back to Olorun, owner of heaven. Olorisha basically means you own Orishas and you have a part of that tangibly. That's one of the beautiful things of this tradition, is that we're not just praying to elements. We've been able to tangibly take some of that, Ashe and house and have that within our home and within our space.
Got you. That's dope, bro. That's dope. So in order to have that done, you got to have a priest or a priestess come by and do the whole initial setup for you.
Well, ritual. In order to be own Orisha, you have to have undergone the ceremony for Olorisha, which is crowning, Yoko Ocha, which just means the seating of Orisha. When you make Santo, I don't like to use the word Santos or Santeria, but basically when you make Santo, or when you crown santo, or when you yoko ocha and you gari ocha. Those are all terms for going under initiation for a priest, a Orisha or Santero. Then you have been given your Orishas that are birthed in these pots properly. Then you're housing this ashe. That came from somebody else's Orishas. Life comes from life. So they were born from the godparents' Orishas. Then you take those Orishas and you house them in your home properly and have taught how to attend to them and contain them.
Got you. That's dope, man. That's dope. It sounds very similar to other practices, man.
Of course, man. That is how it works. That's why when you try to you get the criticism between the Santeria or Lukumi and Isheshi, I'm like, man, there are different expressions.
All right. In what ways does possession by an Orisha transform both the possessed and the observers?
I don't know if it transforms, but it's so funny. Today, I just dropped 2 videos about possession. I did. I dropped it like about 4 hours ago. Possession comes from what they call a person that can get possessed. First of all, so did you say by Orisha?
Hold on. They get like becoming possessed, like say in what ways does possession by an Orisha transform both the possessed and the observers, like the energy? Like how does it?
Yeah, so when they possessed by an Orisha, because you can get possessed by like a spirit, like a human spirit, like what we call muerto or egun, which is the ancestors. But for those who possessed by Orisha, they have to have one been initiated to have that ashe intertwined. When you crown Orisha, it is a symbiosis. It creates an intermingling of 2 energies of your soul and your body and this Orisha become intertwined. That's why I say this is a symbiotic religion. And once you do that, some are what they're called elegun, and that means you are a horse. You can be mounted, and that not everybody has that. But if you are crowned and initiated, and if you are an elegun, the Orisha can then come down, and usually it's done at ceremonies where the music was playing and they're invoking these Orishas. And if it's the right setting, sometimes the Orishas will come down. How it transforms or what happens, what it does is that person, that Lagoon becomes the bridge. It becomes the bridge between the people that are present. That Orisha came down for a reason, wanted to show power, wanted to communicate, wanted to bless or clean the people. And they're blessed with actually an Orisha can touch ground and be within you as if they're walking on earth again, and sort of like a temporary reincarnation to come in and bless someone, to talk to them directly without needing a medium. So when it's done properly, it's very beautiful. Notice I said when it's done properly.
Yeah, of course. Now I respect that because I have heard from friends that I have that practice this culture.
Yeah,
and I want to make a clear distinction. Those that knew and those that was, like, as they say in the streets, was false flag and false claiming, where they said, if you pass spirit, you can't be a babalao, stuff like that. I have heard you can't be a babalao. Oh, if I have heard that before. Is that true? Is there some truth to that?
That is true. So there's two taboos in the Lukumi tradition, and one of that you cannot be a babalao, and one of them is if you get possessed. It doesn't mean you cannot be an Orisha or Santero or Santera, but a babalao is a different realm. A babalao is a different type of level of initiation because it's born from Olofi. And the thing about a babalao is a babalao can never be that elegun. He can never be that open portal for a spirit and or Orisha to overtake his body. He has to be in control. He sometimes is the master of ceremonies. He's sometimes holding and wielding a knife. He has to be in control. Imagine if a babalao is there and he's trying to divine or he's taken over by a spirit. It just, there has to be someone where that door is closed. So that's one of the prerequisites to becoming a babalao, is not being an elegun. But Orisha, all of that, or spiritualist, or someone that mounts spirits or muertos or angels or ancestors, that all happens, but those are different realms. But yes, that is a thing within babalaos.
So is it bad? Because I heard this within the Haitian voodoo culture, and hearing this from you, is it bad to be mounted at say you go to a ceremony like as you guys call it, tambon, or a ceremony? Is it a bad thing to be mounted?
No,
I know
not
that
at all.
I know the dangers of it. You know, if you're around negative people, they could do things to harm you. But I
I
like
mean,
to
that
know,
goes
you know.
with, like, let's eliminate like the environment. Let's say the environment is apropos or ideal. It's never a bad thing. You know what I mean? It's Orishas can come down. Most people want to be that elegant. That's why people try to force those possessions. You know what I mean? And like
Yeah.
they try to make it happen. And it's like it's just not happening. You know what I mean? That's when you
Yeah.
get the fake, you get the theatrics, but the real ones, it's a beautiful. And again, when it's done real and it's done authentically, it's always
Yeah.
done in a setting that's in a controlled environment. And this is
Yeah.
why you always want to be around your elders. You know, this is why you want to go with elders. You want to be around an environment where you can be trusted. You don't want to be just some random Santero going to some random people's tambores and drumming and then get possessed, like no one there to take care of you, look after you. You know what I'm saying? You always want to go with your posse. You always want to go with your elders. You always want to go in places where you feel comfortable.
Definitely that protection, because you know,
People, man,
I've heard horror stories.
people are just, man, horrible in general, man.
Oh man. All right, so we spoke about the beads and all that,
We spoke about
and
beads.
yeah, we spoke about the beads. You said that you got your Lakers at a young age, your warriors and all that. You said, like, how are your warriors are selected? How were you given your warriors? Like, what's the process of that? You don't have to go, you know, too deep to violate code and ethics, but how does one get their warriors?
Yeah, warriors. First, I want to mention that, you know, anytime you get ilekes, your necklaces, anytime you get warriors, your hand to fa, initiations or crownings, and my strongest opinion, that's something that should be done when a person intentionally, voluntarily wants it. Not done because they've been forced, not done because they've been told to, not told because it's coming up and these you need help and now you got to get these warriors. It's something that you do when you learn about them and you want to take that next step and you want to get closer. You know, so ilekes are necklaces and beads. Beads, the etymology of the word bead is prayer. So having prayers and orishas are connected. Which you want your warriors, that is a living orisha of eligua. There is something very powerful and secret that goes inside the vessel of an eligua that has life. And again, life gives life. So it's born from the godparents eligua. The Ogun pot will be born from, again, the godparents. And there's an Osun, which is a silver rooster that represents your head in Ori and is put up high. And if it falls, it's warning of impending danger. How do you get them? You know, it has to be given to you by a priest. Typically, warriors are given to you by babalaos, especially those that work with babalaos. The babalawo will prepare it. He will do divination to determine how to construct your personal eligua. He will construct the. I'm gonna tell you what I would do. I would divine on it. I will find out what the Odu comes from. I will find out the path of that particular eligua, how it's going to be constructed, what is it going to be housed in a shell or cement, how is it going to be. Put the load in. There's a charge, secret charge. Put the stuff in it. Cement it all myself. I never get the molds. Has a nail that represents that he's a warrior, and a red parrot feather is very important. The pluma de loro that puts on top as well. Put beads of arumila to let it know that it was made by Babalau. And then once I construct that and have the Ogunpat and the Osum particularly prepared, then I feed them the appropriate animals from mine to the next, and then it's given life. And then I was able, then from there, they are living Orishas vibrating with life. Eligua now is born for this person, sole purpose to defend and help this person who's going to receive them. And then I present them to the person, instruct them how to attend to them, how to take care of them, how to house them, what to do, and you continue that relationship with them.
That's dope. You know, I'm gonna reveal something. You know, and when they hear this, that people gonna be bugging. They're like, well, "What?" I received one. Like I got a dear friend of mine. I call my godmother. You know, I call her godmother. You
Of
know what I'm
course.
saying? I'm gonna reveal her name, but salute to her because raw, like real to the core. I remember one time I was going through a crazy point in my life, and I was given something that had like the black and red beads around. Like I don't know, was it a rock or something? But it's like a square shaped thing. And I was given this thing. I kept it on me, and I noticed a lot of negative things were not happening around me. So one day I was out in a crazy public outing, and I believe I misplaced this thing. Well, I knew I lost it. 'Cause I'm like, yo, it's not in my pocket. Couldn't find it. Can you believe the next day I woke up, this thing was under my pillow? I thought I was bugging. I'm like, no, I had this with me, and I
Right.
remember I had everyone looking. Everyone like, yeah, I remember you had it. You know, you took it out. You know, it was in the car.
And the
man.
Orishas do stuff like that. You start questioning your sanity. Like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
whoa, you know what I'm saying? That's what's
Yeah.
up. That's what's up. That was Elegua, man. That was Elegua
That's
with you, ain't letting you go no matter what tradition you are in. He was there for you for a reason. That's
yeah,
beautiful.
definitely. And I remember the song like like they singing it.
Elegua, Elegua, Alawana, Gaboche. Hey,
Yeah, could have me like I was like, oh, this song, might dance to this. All right. So the question I have is, how do practitioners navigate the stigma and misconceptions surrounding Santeria, Ifa, and Lukumi?
yeah. That's a big one.
Locally.
And I've talked about this a lot, and I made a lot of videos as well, trying
Mm.
to explain that this religion was born out of secrecy, right?
Yeah.
And there's no need for that anymore. The culture was hiding it. The culture was doing things in behind closed doors in basements and hiding your orishas um
Mm-hmm.
and I got called out. I was doing a video and I had my necklaces, I had my ilikas, I had like a bunch of them out, and there was like a few people like ridiculing me. You're not supposed to have them out. What are you
Yeah.
doing? What's with all these necklaces? And I'm like, listen, I've always been very proud of my religion. There's no need for us to hide it. I was at an airport. My family and I were traveling to crown somebody in Florida. My daughter, who's a Shango priest, she's very proud, man. She's very religious, man. She's
Dope.
23, and she had her necklaces out, and some lady came up to her at the airport while we're waiting at the gate to kind of board the plane. And she's like, those necklaces, you need to put them away. You don't sit there and you don't have them out. My daughter was like, a little timid. So she kind of like, okay, kind of covered them up and came up to me. She's like, Dad, that lady over there told me I need to put my necklaces away. So,
Damn.
I went up to a lady. I'm like, excuse me, how you doing? I'm her father. It's like, you told her to put her necklaces away? And she's like, yeah, it's supposed to. I was like, listen, we don't hide. I said, my religion, we don't hide the religion. I said, she's crowned, and I've been crowned for 30 years, Chango, and I never hit my religion. She wasn't even crowned. But the problem is, there's this hiding. So what we got to do to break the stigma, be proud of it. If someone asks you, speak on it. Say, yeah, this is my religion. When I made Babalawo was when everything changed for me. I was still in the sacred room inside the 7-day ceremony. My godfather sat us all down. He goes, you're Babalawos now. You guys are high priests. You guys are priests of this religion. You're ambassadors. You don't hide this religion. If someone asks you what that is around your wrist, you tell them what it is. And you tell them who you are. You say this religion, and it changed my life. I said, there's no hiding no more. I'm not going to be up all loving my religion and yet denying my religion to someone who asks about it. Because why? Why? Because there's a stigma. Yeah, we do animal sacrifices. Let's talk about it. You know what I mean? You sacrifice an animal every time you eat meat. What? Don't be a hypocrite with me. Come on now. I said, come on. Every religion. Come on with the Muslims. They do their ceremonies too.
Hold on, bro. Hold on. I gotta get one of
Come
these.
on. Like the rabbi wanted. Come on. Listen. Like,
That's a
don't
fact.
come after me. Come after the Jews too. For the Yom Kippur, they sacrifice a chicken on the Day of Atonement. Come on, let's do this.
Talk about it.
You want to do
Old
the
Testament.
sacrifice of Abraham? Well, when he killed his son, you guys do that ceremony every day in the Middle East and Islam. Well, come after everybody. What about you Christians eating meat every day? You know what I'm saying? You didn't care about the animal. At least when the animal dies with us, it dies with pride. It dies with sacrifice humanely, with prayers, and we release the spirit to heaven. Come on now. Like, what are we hiding our religion for? Like, why don't you listen? I'm questioning you. I'm questioning you.
Tell them. Now I'm with you. I like that. Because you shouldn't have to hide who you are to make someone else comfortable. Make yourself comfortable, make somebody comfortable.
Now that it's getting popular, you see a lot of artists like Beyonce coming out with her songs and talking about she's in a religion. You heard a song with my ocean energy. They're coming out with it now because it's accepted. But where was you 10 years ago? I know you were in it before you came that song.
It's always like that. I'm telling you, people do that all the time. They do that, man.
Not me. Now I've been proud of this religion before it was popular. And when people used to look at me funny, I went through all them side eyes, them judging, my family judging me. And
being that we speaking about Oshun, how does Oshun embody love, beauty, and fertility? Because that's the big thing.
Yeah, listen, the outer Orishas embody different things, and I did a video on the true essence of a child of Oshun. Oshun comes to bring love and self-love. Okay, and Oshun represents a lot of the womb of the woman, the creator. in every ceremony, every initiation, every priest initiation, whether it be a Orisha Santeria or a Babalao, there is a trip to the river. And that is because we got to go back to her waters. If we want to be reborn again, we got to go back to her waters, which represents the embryonic fluid. And that represents us going back to the womb, getting refreshed, getting cleansed. Okay, it's nice to know that she can bring you love, she can bring you womb. She embodies that all, and that's when we tap into those energies, and she gives us that love, that tough love, and also that self-love.
And I hear that. Definitely, it can't always be easy. Life itself is a challenge. Polarities, it ebbs and flows. So
it is. Our lives are difficult, and the Orishas are here to help us get through that tough time.
So how are godparents chosen in this practice?
All right, I've done a video on that too, called "Choosing Elders." It's called "Choosing Elders," man. And the thing is here, I'm going to give you the 3 steps. I'm going to tell you how it should be done, and I'm going to give you the 3 criteria. Don't choose elders. Don't choose someone by the location, instead by their reputation. Don't look for titles. Look for character. Okay. Don't look for someone that can speak the language, but that can speak the message of Ifa. All right. So, Mr. Mikey, brother, go ahead, give me a little sound. I thought you can do a sound. Boom, 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 boom. All right. So, hold on. All right. So,
I got you. Got you another one. He needs his shots.
Yeah. I'll get shot up now. Hold on. All right. So the whole don't choose elders by location, choose them by reputation, because sometimes we think, oh, they must be in Nigeria, they'd be better. Or they in Cuba, they'd be better. Oh, they're down the block, they're in my city, they must be the ones I need to go to. Listen, you have to go where you are connected to. Okay, because would you trust a specialist that is for your life, that might need to do surgery, and you're choosing a doctor? Would you say, well, he's down the street from me, he's 5 minutes down the street, down Fullerton Avenue in Chicago? Or you can like, yo, there's a specialist up in New York that specializes in this. It's got a good background, it's good reviews. When it comes to your life and lifelong decisions, you go where the reputation is. It doesn't matter location. It doesn't matter if it's far away that you think. It doesn't matter. Choose reputation. Look at reviews, look at the community, things like that. Now, you don't look for titles, you look for character. I don't care if a dude's a chief. I don't care if a dude's got crowned this much money or this many years. And Ocha, I don't care if he's got this, he's got that. He can still be an asshole. Excuse my language. No, he can still be an a-hole. You know what I'm saying? He can still, doesn't matter. He can be a legit priest and have an author and be a chief and still rob you from your money because he don't have character. Look for character, not titles. And the other one is don't look at him, well, he speaks pure Yoruba, or, I want someone that can speak Cuban Spanish. No, look for someone not just speaking the language, but speaks the message of Ifa. Someone that can throw an Odu and look at the signs and speak the messages that need to be told for you. When you find those qualities and you take your time and you do your research and ask the community, you should be fine. Build a relationship. Go slow before you make any deep commitments.
That's peace right there. And with that being said, my brother, Baba Victor, I appreciate you for coming out tonight, my brother.
My pleasure, man. I did a lot of
you are knowledgeable, very expressive, detailed, clear. You didn't do all that hoopla, all that extra talk when people they be beating their chests and all this stuff. Nah, you kept it clear, concise, and very beautiful, man. And I appreciate you for coming out here. Where can the people find you at, man? Drop your handle on there. Let the people know where they can find you.
I have a website, godbaba.org, like got milk. It's called godbaba, godbaba.org. All right. I just started, since April, I started really posting things on TikTok, Baba Victor. I think that's where you might have found me. Starting a YouTube channel, Baba Victor. But if you really wanted to find me or any kind of like book a session with me or anything, the Baba Victor has my bio has all the links. I used to have an Instagram for Temple Orisha Lifa, my temple, but it got hacked. Someone hacked it, and then Instagram locked me out. And I just said, man, I'm just gonna go with TikTok. I'll be all right. Leave it alone.
Nah, definitely. Baba Victor, I appreciate you, brother. Keep doing the great work, man. We got to connect again. They're gonna ask for you to come back.
They do, but there's so much more I want to talk about. So much more.
Definitely, man. Yo,
you know, that's why I speak fast, man, because there's so much I want to get out.
Nah, it's all good. Yo, NYP's the home. Come, yo, anybody else that's listening, you got something you want to speak about, you bring it up on here. Baba Victor here. If you have issues, reach out to him. The brother will take care of you. Don't forget to comment, like, share, subscribe, my people. NYP. And we out.
All right, Mike.
Peace, my brother.
Thank you.
Peace.
Good one.